Hello everyone, this is your second English video. Today we are going to start with a little bit of handwriting, and then we're going to move into the spag like I said last time, and then we will move into the writing tasks, okay? So I have put up a little board. Now it's actually a mirror the other side, so if it falls off it might break. So we'll try this out. Okay, so I've got a word here. Now it's exactly the same word, but just wrote slightly differently. Okay, so if you're a squirrel, I would like you to focus on how it's written here, okay? And then if you're a hedgehog or hare, I'll mark it. So hedgehog or hare, you're looking at that one. And if you're a squirrel, you're looking at that one, okay? So first of all, we need to see what our word is. So I'm going to segment the word, segment and blend it to help me read what the word is. Okay, so we've got put it all back together, elephant. Okay, so if you are a hedgehog or hare, I would like you to just sit and listen for a second, okay? And if you're a squirrel, I want you to have a look at this, okay? So you will need a pen and paper, and we are going to write this word together. So if you write it down quickly, don't worry about it being neat, but if you write down elephant first for me on your piece of paper, and then we're going to write it together using the correct handwriting, okay? At any point you need to have a little bit of time, just pause the video, okay? And then play it when you're ready to carry on. Okay, so here, what type of letter is this? It looks a bit different to the rest of the letters. Can you remember what type of letter this is? Normally goes at the start of a sentence. It's a capital letter. Now, I'm sure quite a lot of you will be able to do a capital E or E really easily, okay? So I'm going to draw a line. This is my line that I would normally write in my book, okay? So all our letters must be sitting on the line, okay? Now this is a capital E. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to draw a line across. I'm going to go down to the bottom so it touches the line. I'm going to do the bottom of the E or E and then the middle part. Okay? Now, if you notice on these words, we've got our joins going into the letters, okay? So we're going to do the L next, okay? So I'm going to start on the line. I'm going to go up, all the way up. Now, the L are tall letters, okay? So they like to be the same height as the capital, okay? So we start on the line, we go up, all the way up, and then we come back down to the line and then flick up, okay? Now, our S. Now, it's not going to be the same size as this capital letter because that's a capital, okay? And it's not going to be as tall as the L because this is a tall letter, okay? Like here, it's about half the size, okay? So again, we start on the line. We always start on the line I think. Just trying to think of different letters. Yeah, I think we always start on the line. So we start on the line, we go up and around and back down, okay? Now, the f sound, the p, okay? And we start on the line again, we go flick up. Now we come down, we do its tail. Now the tail normally comes down as far as tall as this is, okay? That didn't make much sense. We've got to make our tails long. So they're not just going to be sitting under the line. We don't want just a little tail, okay? We want a nice long tail. So I've come up here, now I go back up the line I've just done, up to the top and then around. And then if you notice, we've got to come back round with a little flick, okay? Now, if you look at my p head there, it's about the same size as the e, and we always need to try and make these the same size, okay? We want one big, one little, okay? We want about the same size. So now the h, so we start on the line again, we go up, now it needs to be the same height as the l, then we come back down, round, and flick. Notice how the top of the h there is the same size as the h and the e, okay? Now the a, we start on the line, we go round, back round, and down and flick. Okay, same with the n, we start on the line, we go up, we go back down, not down the same line we started as, it's got to be a straight line back down, okay? So we come down, then we go round and flick, and then the t, okay? Now we start on the line, we do the little join to begin with, and we go up as high, okay, as the h and the l. They need to be the same height. And we come back down and flick, and then we cross the t, okay, in the middle of the t, not at the top of the t, not right at the bottom, in the middle of the t, okay? Now, when we move to year 2, we start to join all of those letters. You notice here that we've started to do the flicks ready to join, but we haven't joined the letters yet, okay? So, hares and hedgehogs, okay? So we are going to join all the letters together. So I've got my line, okay? So a capital F again. So squirrels, it'd be good for you to watch this because this is what you'll be doing next year, okay? Now, it's really important with all of these letters here that your pencil doesn't come off of the page. It doesn't need to come off the page, okay? So, again, we start here on the line. We go all the way up to the same height as the E. We go back, down, and round. So now, normally I would take my pen off, but I'm not going to because I don't need to, because I'm just going to join it straight into the E, okay? So I go round and back down for the E. Now again, we're going to go straight into the putt now, not taking our pen off. So we go up, the same height as the E. We go all the way down, a nice long tail. We come back up to the top, round. Now we come back round for the join, okay? Now we're going to go all the way up for the H and back down and around and flick, okay? And then we're going to go into the A without taking our hand off and back down, up for the N. I made a little mistake there, but it's okay. And then we go all the way up for the T, back down, and then we take our pen off to cross the T. Okay? So I'd like you to try that and see how well you do. Okay? Right, so let's move on. Okay, so let me just share my screen with you now. So today we are going to be looking at adjectives. Now I know all of you should know adjectives. Lots of you should have done adjectives in all of the classes, okay? So while I just share the screen with you, can you remember what an adjective is and why do we use an adjective? Okay, so hopefully you would have remembered that an adjective is a describing word, okay? So we use adjectives to describe people, places, things, how we're feeling, okay? And this helps us to imagine that better, okay? So if I'm describing what I'm eating, it'd be really good to add lots of adjectives in, because whoever I'm telling it to, describing it to, gets a better picture in their mind. Okay, here's some examples here. So we've got delicious cake. So instead of just saying I was eating a cake, okay, I was eating a delicious cake. That tells the person I'm talking to that it was a really nice cake, not just, just a cake. Okay, my best friend. So it's not just a friend, okay, it's a really close friend. And a sharp pain. So instead of just saying I'm in pain, saying I'm in sharp pain tells the person that it's really, really bad. Okay. So adjectives can be used in different ways. So normally in our writing, we would use an adjective before what we were describing. So normally we would say the dark blue plane flew through the sky. But it doesn't always have to be like that. You can put the adjective at the end of your sentence. So the plane that flew through the sky was dark blue. Okay. So on to the next page. Now there's going to be a few different words. Okay, you can see them there. Now I'm going to give you a few seconds to read those words, segment and blend them if you need to. And I want you to try and decide what ones you think are adjectives. Not all of them are adjectives. So what ones would you use to describe something, to tell me what it's like? Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Okay, so have you found them all? Let's see. So hopefully you might have noticed that green is an adjective because it's describing the colour. Cat. Is cat an adjective? No, that's a noun, okay? Fast. Is that an adjective? Yeah. So fast, I'm describing how fast something is. So that car is really fast. Okay. How about tall? Yes. So tall is an adjective. That tree is really tall. Table. Is that an adjective? No. Table is a noun. Big. Is big an adjective? Yes, it is. So big, the flower is very big. Talk. Is talk an adjective? No. Talk is a verb because it is something that we do. Large. Is large an adjective? Yes. So it's another way of describing how big something is. Loud. Is loud an adjective? Yes. Loud is an adjective. So my dog Ty is being very loud at the moment. Spotty. Is spotty an adjective? Yes, spotty is an adjective. So I am wearing a spotty dress. Is pencil an adjective? No, pencil's not an adjective. I can't use that to describe. The pencil is very pencil. Doesn't make sense. That's another noun. Purple. Is purple an adjective? Yes, purple is an adjective because I'm describing the colour of it. And yes. Is yes an adjective? No, yes is not an adjective. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to remember some adjectives that you could use to describe things. So I have got another slide here for you. Now, here I have some sentences. Now, we need to find the adjectives in the sentence. So I'm wondering if you can help me, okay? So I'll read the sentence. So the top one says, next door there was a huge grumpy dog. Where do you think the adjectives are in that sentence? Okay, so find the describing words for me. I'll give you a few seconds. So hopefully you would have noticed that huge and grumpy are the adjectives because they're describing the dog, aren't they? Okay, so the next sentence. He always chased the scared little boy. Where are the adjectives in that sentence? Just give me a second. Okay, I've given you a lot of time there. So let's see. Where is the adjective in that sentence? So hopefully you would have said scared and little because they're describing the boy. Okay, so instead of just saying he always chased the boy, we're telling the person his feelings and his size. So he's scared, feeling scared, and he's little. Okay, so next sentence. The boy climbed up the tall and leafy tree. Where are the adjectives in that sentence? Okay, hopefully you would have said tall and leafy. Okay, so we're describing the tree. So it's not a little tree, it's a tall tree, and it's not winter at the moment because there's lots of leaves on the tree. So it's telling us a bit more about the tree. Okay, so the little cat had a warm bath. Where are the adjectives in this sentence? Okay, so hopefully you would have said that the adjectives were little and warm. Okay, so it's a little cat and it's a nice warm bath. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so there was a spider in the bathroom. Okay, now it's just saying, it's quite a simple sentence. There's not really much description in that sentence. I don't know what the spider's like. I don't know what the bathroom's like. So, can you think of an adjective that you could use to describe the spider? I'll give you a few seconds now to change that sentence and add an adjective in. Now, I've got here down in the bottom corner some adjectives to help you. You might want to use one of those, or you might have already thought of an adjective yourself. So down here I've got annoying, happy, clumsy, bright, brave, filthy, so that means dirty, cheerful, old, teeny, gigantic, worried, hungry, angry, and spotless. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few seconds now to decide what adjective you could put into that sentence to make it more interesting. Okay, so I'm sure you've got some fantastic ideas and what adjectives you could have put into that sentence. So I'm going to rewrite the sentence now, but with an adjective in there. Okay, so there was a huge, I don't like spiders, any spiders, even teeny tiny ones. So there was a huge spider, and I actually think when I see a spider, even the tiniest ones, they look huge to me. So there was a huge, hairy spider in the bathroom. Okay? Do you like my adjectives that I've added into that sentence? I'm sure you probably would have added in much better adjectives than me. Okay, so let's try again. Let's do another one. Okay, the slug was in my kitchen. That's quite a boring sentence. The slug was in my kitchen. we need to add some description in there so it makes the sentence more interesting, and it helps me imagine what the slug was like or what the kitchen was like. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few seconds now to decide what adjectives you could put into that sentence to make it more interesting, to describe it. Okay, so let's write a new sentence. Okay, so I'm going to start writing. So, how could I describe a slug? Now, they're quite slimy. Yeah, slimy and quite sticky, aren't they? So, a slimy, sticky slug was in my... Now, what was my kitchen like? So I'm going to describe my kitchen as well. In my bright red kitchen. Like my sentence? I'm sure your sentence was much better. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, here we go. So here are some monsters. Now, there's no sentences to go with these monsters, but they're not just a normal monster. They've got different things. They're all different. So if I said that there was a page of monsters here, I can't really imagine what they might look like. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. Pick one of the monsters, one of the ones that you think is your favourite, and I want you to think of a sentence with some adjectives to describe it, okay? So I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Okay, now I'm going to pick the purple monster here. So my sentence. Okay, so now he's looking quite angry there. He doesn't look very happy. So an angry purple monster with a big grey beard. Because he's got a bit of a beard there, hasn't he? So an angry purple monster, so I'm saying how he's feeling and what his colour what his colour is. And then I'm also saying that he's got a big grey beard, so how big it is and the colour again. Okay, so if you would like to share your descriptive sentences about one of these monsters, then please share it on Teams. Okay, so we're going to move on now to our writing task. Okay, so let me just share with you the PowerPoint. Okay, so we're continuing with Pandora's box. Okay, so last time we looked at the first part of the story, we shared our thoughts, we made a prediction, and we drew what we thought the box looked like. Now, many of you have shared those on Teams already, and they look fantastic. Okay, now it has been a day or two, so we're going to start here today. Now, if you haven't done the activity before it, then you can do that activity and then move on to this one, okay? So, let's read the story. So she took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and slowly, with trembling hands, so trembling means she was shaking, with trembling hands, opened the lid of the box, imagining what could be inside. So before she was opening it, she was already imagining what she thought was going to be inside. Rubies as red as blazing sunsets. So you see there, she's used an adjective, rubies that are red as a blazing sunset. Jeweled encrusted gowns, so they had pretty dresses with lots of jewels on it. Piles of gold, but there were no coins or jewellery, no gowns or gems. For all at once, every evil and spite, every sadness and misery flew out. Like a swarm of insects, they fled the house and infested the earth with heartache and sorrow. Oh. Pandora slammed the lid shut and turned the key. What have I done? She sobbed, holding her head in her hands. Sometime later, Pandora noticed a fluttering sound coming from in the box, as if something was trapped inside. Terrified, so she's really scared at this point, she'd done something really terrible. Terrified, she pressed her ear to the box. Let me out, a small voice pleaded, so it was asking her, kept asking gently. I mean you no harm. Once again, with shaking hands, Pandora unlocked the box and opened the lid. A beautiful butterfly of hope fluttered out of the box. For although Pandora had released pain and suffering into the world, she had also allowed hope to follow them. Now there's lots going on that story there. Now when she opened the box, lots of bad things come out and infested the earth. So lots of pain and sadness came out of the box. But then she was really terrified and scared that she had done that. But then also what came out of the box was something good. A beautiful butterfly that offered hope and many other good things to come from it. So not only did something bad come out of the box, but something good came out of the box as well. Okay, so I've got a question here that you might like to discuss with your adult, or you can think about it now. Okay, so why do you think the box was filled with sadness and bad things? Why do you think Zeus put lots of bad things in the box? Why would he do something like that? I'll give you a few seconds now, so if you want to pause the video, you can. Okay. Your first task for today is, I would like you to draw the evil that came out, the bad things that came out of the box. Okay, so here, if you see here, there's a little monster. Now he looks quite scary and he looks quite bad and he looks quite nasty, okay? Now that's something that might have come out of the box, okay? So I want you to draw it and draw as much detail as you can, and then colour it in if you've got colouring pencils, okay? And then once you've done that, round the outside, I would like you to write adjectives to describe your monster. Now we've just done lots on adjectives, okay? So to describe this monster, pointy sharp nails, bright red eyes, okay? Okay, so there's another question here that you might like to discuss with the person that you live with. Okay, so what is hope? And why do you think there was a butterfly of hope inside? So not only did Zeus put in bad things, but he also put in a beautiful butterfly of hope that could give good things to the world. Why do you think he did that? Okay, and your second task for today, I would like you to draw the beautiful butterfly of hope. Now this is something that it's going to give good things back to the earth to balance out the bad things, okay? And it's a beautiful butterfly, okay? So try and add in lots of different details, as much detail as you can in your picture. And then once you've finished your butterfly of hope, can you add adjectives around the drawing of your beautiful butterfly to describe it, okay? And I'm sure you can think of many different adjectives that really help me imagine your drawing, okay? Now, this PowerPoint, again, is in the English folder, okay? And in the video lessons folder will be an adjective sheet that you can use to help you think of adjectives to describe your monster and to describe your butterfly, okay? Now, if you need to go back and refresh your mind about what adjectives are, I've also put the PowerPoint in the folder as well. And if you would like a little bit of a challenge, there's going to be an adjective activity for you to do, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Sorry if you heard a lot of whining, but my little friend is still here and he's been a little naughty. Okay, so bye. Bye.